Welcome back to America's Morning Headquarters. We've got big thunderstorms marching towards Chicago Metro this morning. They should reach you before lunchtime. And damaging winds, large hail, tornadoes, all on the table. It is hot, humid, and hazy out there. The heat index expected to climb near 100 this afternoon. 110 into the plains, so it's going to be hot. That heat will fuel these storms. We have a tornado condition index of 3. Notice that you have the severe weather here into Chicago, on into Lake Michigan, and then it sweeps through South Bend as we go through Indiana, as we go into Ohio, and of course here into Michigan as well. This will all continue to push into the northeast as we head into tomorrow, but it won't be as potent, so that's good. Unfortunately, Jordan, storms associated with this system already causing severe thunderstorm warnings this morning.
We've had them, yep, back into Wisconsin.
One of the top car museums in the world, Revs Institute, and it faces a year-long challenge preserving the future of the past.
Right. This thing's situated in Naples, Florida. No stranger to hurricanes, right? So the car museum must be ready to protect a priceless collection of 115 cars. Joining us this morning is Scott George, the chief curator for Revs.
Issues with Ian there, or were you guys okay?
No, we were fortunate. We did have water come around both sides of our building and across the road in front of us. But the building, we were fortunate.
With hurricanes, you can see them coming. You can kind of see the path. What happens when you get a storm that just sits overhead and brings you torrential rain and you're kind of like caught off guard? Like, oh my gosh, what do we do now? Is there like a swift plan of action?
Well, we have it. Yeah, we started in April, sort of revisiting things, and then.
Well, Scott, the car collection looks super cool, and I'm so glad you guys have a plan in place. Chief Curator for Revs Institute, we appreciate your time.
Speaking of the heat, we've got it in the tropics too, not only at the ocean, but also as we go up in the atmosphere. A lot of tropical moisture coming across the Atlantic, and we had this open wave that is bringing a lot of moisture into Florida. It's been hot, it's been humid into South Florida. I've been hearing a lot of people complaining about just how muggy it's been down there as well. And it's not only into the afternoon, but also in the mornings. It's just been a lot of moisture for us here into South Florida, and that will continue. We have a little bit of dry air where you see the red shading on the map here at the mid-levels, and that's enough to make sure that we stay hot and sunny and humid, but we aren't going to see downpours like we could see in Florida. Both the European and the GFS have rain coming in through Sunday. The GFS going a little heavier, which I feel like is pretty typical for the GFS, but I will say you could get in one of these thunderstorms that just pour out the rain several inches at one time, and that could cause some flash flooding. And as we know, with sea level rising and everything, it's making flooding a lot worse here into South Florida with the tides that we have. Through the southeast, as you can see, though, we really just don't have enough to squeeze anything out of the atmosphere, so it just stays hot and humid and stagnant. That's the other problem. There's no breeze to kind of blow everything around. Florida does get a little bit of break from the heat and humidity with the rain that's going to fall, but Nashville to New Orleans, we're all going to be feeling like we're above 100. Makes you slow, makes you lethargic. It's hard to be out there. I know a lot of kids have to do sporting events outside. The parents have to sit there and watch the sporting events. As much shade as you possibly can manage. West Palm down into the Keys. Tomorrow into Friday, we could see flash flooding, and here on the West Coast into our Saturday morning as well. Then we're watching for more waves coming off of Africa. Right now, they are tangled with some dust from the Sahara, but one of these systems has a 30% chance of developing, and it looks like it will be able to escape this dust. It's going to be heading westbound over very warm waters here in the Atlantic. We've been talking about that for a while, but it looks like our boundary right here that's going to cool us off finally in the northeast is going to help perhaps turn this system northbound. But this is just an area that we are going to be really concerned about through hurricane season because we started off so warm for us. A lot of the times when you have El Nino, which is in part causing all this warmth, you do get some stronger winds. So if you have super strong winds, those are going to win out over the warm water temperatures. But when we might have a lot of systems develop, and the European has our system outrunning that dust, while the GFS has this thing really intensifying, again, the GFSing, and you can see it looks like a more potent system. Maybe there, Jordan, scraping the islands.
This is your home for the latest news in climate change and sustainability. I'm Jordan Steele.
And I'm Steph Abrams. In today's Hot Topics, time is running out to avoid the worst impacts of climate change.
Pattern climate science producer Ali Van Fleet shows us the climate clock and why activists say it is the most important timer in the world. It's hard to think that way when all you see is headline after headline about how dang hot it is.
But would you believe that the heat and the changing climate is actually making horses fat?
Yeah. This is a weird one for me.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. Our warming climate is fueling heavier rain events, which means that there's an increase in amount of grass that's growing.
Okay.
Horses can't resist the taste of luscious green grass. It's alarming to think about how big a creature is that just eats grass. Okay, first off, that's stunning.
How much grass they have to eat in order to sustain, right?
Right. And I mean, whenever we do these stories on goats going out and eating kudzu and all that, they're not like getting all ginormous.
No, they aren't at all.
So
is the grass different? Is that what you're trying to say?
I don't know.
How some of our crops and our food has been different over the years?
I don't know. I don't know.
Can you imagine?
But it's not like this is a new thing. I mean, horses have been around for a long time.
Yeah, and they exactly. Has it gotten tastier? Has it gotten like more sweeter or sugary? I don't even say like sweets or sugars.
Just love it.
Can you imagine as like humans, they were like, no, you need to limit your lettuce intake. You cannot eat any more lettuce.
Right.
Meanwhile, as a human, you can lettuce is like free calories, right? You can eat as much as you want.
Yeah.
Is kind of how it goes.
I mean, it was hard for me to think about when we try to tell ourselves that we have to eliminate sweets. Like, that's hard enough. For me, especially, like after dinner, I just want like a piece of chocolate.
That was my intention actually for the week, is to eat no sugar for the week, because I'm addicted.
This week?
Yeah, I'm addicted to sugar.
Well, today's what day? Wednesday? How
Today
you doing?
Is day 2, so we're doing good.
Okay, good.
Doing good. All right, let's move on to our next hot topic. On the West Coast, the city of San Diego is making headlines for the construction of municipal microgrids.
I think this is a great idea.
Yeah, crews just broke ground on the first.
Then you could still be up and running.
The little ones that everyone can, tap into. And then take what is smaller than a micro, actually, a nano grid. Maybe you could get a nano grid for severe weather events.
That would be just like your house, right? You got
your house would be the nano grid. But I meant one that you could like move around, maybe a nano grid that you could
like
move
a
around
mobile
when there's severe weather.
We actually talked about that while you were gone. During these big hurricanes that we get, you bring in these big generators. But like the conversation of trying to go green and bring in mobile solar panel units to help sustain things. Green.
Right, that's cool. When I was on vacation, there were several times when I saw green stuff going on. I was over in Dublin and also in London, and I was so tempted to take a picture, but I knew the whole team was going to be like, Abrams, stay off your phone, enjoy your vacation, don't worry about it. But there was an elevator I was in, and it said it was powered by renewable energy or something. I was like, oh, and I wanted to do a little thing, but I knew that you guys would all yell at me. So thank you for pushing me to stay on vacay.
Coming up next on Pattern, one woman is taking...
Welcome back into Pattern. More than 1,300 animals are considered endangered or threatened. That means conservationists are working overtime to help keep them all alive.
But helping some species to breed and survive into adulthood isn't an easy task, and this is why some scientists are considering cloning as a solution. Man, it looked like a cute... It is very controversial. You look at it, and if I wasn't told that, you wouldn't know.
You know how a lot of people are like, oh, if I could only clone myself, I could get all these things done. It's like, well, soon you might be able to, at least if you're a mom horse or a dad horse,
Right.
Take care of all your babies.
Right. Hey, I got to get a weather update real quick from Lynette. Looks like she's talking a lot more about, what else is new? Heat.
Exactly. And we don't want the pets out there, the horses, the animals. No, it's going to be hot
out it's like if you can't take the heat,
get out of the kitchen.
Which way do you go?
I got nowhere to tell you to go,
Exactly.
Right. Hey, here's what's coming up tomorrow on Pattern. Artificial. Look how beautiful that looks.
You should do that while you're out there. Jordan's a big surfer.
Well, where?
Surfing.
Oh, map coral reefs?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that.
You should get in on that.
I'm out there. Hey, Woo TV's coming up next to track not only the heat, but the big storms along the northern tier.